Hey everybody, and welcome to the Fart Fetish Podcast once again. We have another great episode with a very special guest today, but I wanted to, of course, do the quick intro plugs. The Fart Fetish Podcast is available on almost all major podcast platforms and releases episodes monthly, usually the first Friday of the month. You can also visit fartfetish.info, where you can find the podcast and some informative resources. The new podcasts I've linked are still there, and I'll talk about them eventually, but I'm sure you all prefer the guests, right? Let me know. There's also a link to request an invite to the Discord server on the fartfetish.info website. Come join and talk about the fart fetish with us there. I also started streaming again, so maybe we can do something like that together soon. And of course, if you want to be on the show, you can always reach out to me. My email is aproctophilia@gmail.com, and that is too linked at fartfetish.info. And that's it. I'd now like to introduce Victoria, who is a female fart fetishist, so I'm very excited to have her on today to get this perspective that we have not had on this show to date. I have no doubt we're going to learn a lot in today's episode. I'm excited to dive in, so you stick around for this episode of the Fart Fetish Podcast. Thank you very much for being here, Victoria. Let's start with a little bit about yourself and how you approach this fetish.
Well, first off, thank you for having me. I'm super excited and super nervous.
No worries. I'm a little nervous too. I always get a little nervous doing the show.
A little bit about myself. Well, I am a rare breed in this fetish. I'm shy, quiet, like to keep to myself sometimes. Nice, caring person. And, you said, how do I approach the fetish?
Uh-huh.
With open arms, but also cautiously.
Nice. What does the fetish look like for you? Like, how do you enjoy it? I guess, like, fantasy wise.
Let's see. I don't think I have much fantasies with it because the stuff that's like readily available online, it just does it for me sometimes.
That's fair. Do you have like a theme you gravitate towards, like a specific, like me personally, I typically gravitate towards like teacher domination or like mother domination or other types of and domination being a thread that sticks between a lot of the content I like. What kind of themes do you like to look at when you go looking for porn?
Let's see. Well, with this one, I guess, I don't really like the dom. Well, me personally, I don't really like the dom stuff. I guess if the model is like super embarrassed that she passed again.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I like if they're like super embarrassed that they pass gas, or they're like relieved that they like finally able to pass it, and when they moan after. And I guess with my other stuff too, because it all started from my two other
fetishes.
Yeah, the panty fetish and the upskirt fetish and the schoolgirl uniform one. So it fits all three. Yeah, that's right up my alley.
Nice. I got you. Does any of that tie into like the origins of the fetish for you, like how and when it started?
Yeah. It was many, many years ago on YouTube when you can post almost anything and everything, because the rules, I guess, ran fast and loose. I was just looking up stuff to jill off to, as we say. So I was like, well, there's nothing here. I mean, it's stuff I've seen before. It's not doing it for me. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to just look up a bunch of random stuff. If I'm not going to do that, I'm going to laugh. So, and I really don't remember why I randomly typed in girl fart, but I did. And there was a lovely model by the name of Fetishes. I found out years later that was her name. And she just let it all out. And still to this day, I still remember the outfit and the sound and how I felt when I heard it. And I just didn't pay it no mind. But I want to say the day after, I was looking up more and more. I guess I didn't really have my, first orgasm to it. I guess, yeah, it was the model named Mandy. She was like playing a video game, and I was like, this is doing something to me. So I'm just going to like just figure it out, and I did. And I did feel like, how people call post nut click.
Oh, clarity. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I felt that, and I'm like, all right then. I guess I'm into this now. That just happened. And off and on for years, I just like, I would go back to it. I wouldn't, but it just grew. My love and fascination grew more and more. And now there's so much like videos and stuff now, and I love it so much.
Nice. That's really awesome. And yeah, you definitely mentioned two of the big creators of I don't know, or maybe early 2000s or so, Mandy and Patoosta. I think they've even worked together on at least one or two videos, which is very cool. And yeah, I'm very well aware of both of their works. Do you have any experiences of your own when it comes to this fetish?
Sadly, no, absolutely zero experiences. I'm guessing you're meaning like doing meetups and stuff. No, I do none of that. Maybe in the future, but not now. But I don't get off on the smell, just the sound. So I'm like, how would that do in a meetup? I wonder. But yeah.
Sure. You said you don't get off on the smell and the sound. What aspects do you enjoy?
Oh no, I love the sound.
Oh, okay.
The smell is a no for me. I would have to be like really into the girl to actually be able to.
I got you. Well, thankfully that can be done. A lot of times, hygiene and diet can ensure the aroma is lesser. So that actually is very doable. I find in many cases, which is I guess lucky for your enjoyment.
Okay then.
Yeah. I just have experience with an ex of mine. So, and you mentioned the other fetishes that you also enjoyed. Have you talked to other people about any of these fetishes?
In real life, no. Online, yes. In real life, you can, I guess, in my opinion, you can kind of tell with your circle of friends that you've been knowing for years, like who would be very close-minded and who would just tease you and make fun of you and just make you feel awful, and would probably like post online saying, haha, this girl has a fart fetish. Yeah, I don't need that in my life, so that's never going to happen. But online, yes, I'm somewhat open about it on Twitter. I mean, these people I've been knowing for like 10 plus years on Twitter. Some know, some don't know. We tweet lots of stuff and make comics on it, and my profile is private, so they really don't see it that much. But they're like, I'm assuming my followers are like, oh, she posted that stuff again. All right, then cool. I don't care or stuff like that. That's what I'm sure what they're thinking. But I do have one special friend that does know. She tries to understand it as best as she could, but she doesn't make me feel weird or gross about it. She sometimes sends me videos of herself farting and stuff, and tells me like stories on dates like, oh, I was on a date with this hot guy and I had to fart the entire time and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you told me the story. You want to tell me more about it?
That's really cool. That's really cool of her. Would you consider, or does she identify as a fetishist, or just someone who's down with it because you're down with it?
Oh no, she's not down with it at all. She has her own like kinks and fetishes that I don't really understand, but I respect her for it. I'll never judge her on it. And I kind of have a story that goes with the stuff that she does, besides sending me the videos and telling me like her little embarrassing stories and stuff.
Yeah, please share if you'd like.
Let me see if I can remember good. I think it happened 1 or 2 years ago, when it's just like stuck out in my mind, like, wow, she didn't have to tell me this, or just kept it to herself. She actually, thought of me, even though she doesn't really quite understand the fetish and everything. I'm like, wow, you are really a nice and kind, generous person. Well, she sent me a DM saying that she was like in the work car with her new colleagues, and she was like super gassy from work, and that she was just very uncomfortable. And I'm like, all right, then, I'm so sorry. Tell me more, please. She then DM'd me that, as soon as she got out the car, she let it rip and everything. And she said she felt better. And I'm like, DMing her like cry laugh emojis, saying, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I was kind of hesitant to like send her another DM saying that, sorry if this comes off as weird, but what you just sent me, like, really, really turned me on a lot. Like, I had to take care of something after she told me. And she like sent an instant message saying like, yeah, that's why I told you. You're the only one I know that will get pure enjoyment from my issue. And I think of you each time I do that. And I'm like, girl, you are too pure for this world.
That is awesome. I think too, it's really, I'm so glad you have such a great friend like that, and I hope you do find more people like that. Maybe even among this community, perhaps, which would be my hope. But yeah, I think having friends like that, and ideally family, whoever can be our allies, is incredibly great. One thing I find interesting too is there's a great innocence about the way you enjoy the fetish, the kind of embarrassing situation, embarrassing feeling. It's almost like an empathetic enjoyment of the fetish, and it's not a perspective I hear very often. We haven't heard it on the show, but even in the world, there's some videos that come from the embarrassed girl, or like locked out of the bathroom type situation.
Oh, I love those so much.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's like in opposition to the dom aspect, it's kind of very sweet in a way. It's kind of as I said, like empathizing with someone in a difficult situation, and I think that's very cool.
Yeah, exactly. Or just getting off on their pure embarrassment.
For sure, there is that aspect as well. I've been noticing more and more postings on FetLife from female fetishists or female identifying fetishists. So I think my conception, and maybe the conception of this show, that there are no females in the fetish is wrong. But I'm wondering about like the dominant side of females. It seems like we have subs of all type in both genders, and you also have dom and sub men in the gay side of the fetish, but dom females seem absent. What's your view or your experience with seeing dominant females like within this fetish?
Well, I don't really see, I don't really see too much of it, because that's not stuff I'm looking to when I search this online. But you see some videos on Twitter, like the face sitting and stuff like that. But they're out there. They're probably, you just probably can't really tell. But I've seen like maybe a couple, but that was like years and years ago. I don't know if they're out there now.
Absolutely. It's kind of, and it's kind of I have talked about this with other people on the show. Is there's a big difference between the gay male side of this fetish, which there's some feeling that men should just be farting on camera for fun and not for profit or money or monetization. However, I think one, with the fewer dominant females, there's also more incentive to monetize on the female side, especially because it's just so you can't quench the demand on this side. It's just impossible. So I can fully appreciate why, if there is a dominant female who does actually happen to enjoy the fetish herself, and maybe wouldn't do it for money if she didn't have to, would of course try to monetize it, because why not? We live in this world, not the idealistic one.
Yeah. Like what I always hear online, or what people always say, if you're good at something, very good at something, don't do it for free.
Absolutely true. It's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Staying in that kind of vein, like, everything seems to be fairly male dominated. I mean, most content is geared toward straight male fetishists. The gay side, as we have seen, has a pretty robust community among themselves, which is awesome as well. How do you feel being a female in this world that's kind of male dominated? Forums, websites. It seems to not cater to your side at all. How does that feel, or how do you navigate that?
Well, I don't go on lots of forums and stuff. I just go to like PH and Disvid. On Disvid, I go on both sides, the female side and the male side. I can get a taste of both worlds, because I guess I am kind of bi in that sense. Yeah, because I know on my FetLife profile it says straight, but no. So
Okay.
well, I guess in my honest opinion, just for me and probably all the other ladies, I feel pretty sad and left out. Like, you see videos saying, "Oh, I did this with my stepbrother," or "Come here and sniff this dude," or I see bulge growing there, and I'm like, I'm a lady. I don't have that. I exist. Please cater to me. Yeah, I just feel like I'm just left out, and there's like nothing there.
Yeah. No, I can imagine and empathize with that. I can, because I don't want to go on a tangent, but like, when I was writing back in the day, I tried to be as vague as possible. I definitely didn't do the gender vagueness any justice, but like, in terms of trying to describe the person doing the action or any of this, I tried to leave this up to the viewer or the reader, so they could, put what they wanted. Because maybe I like redheads, but they wanted a brunette or whatever, that's more attractive to them. So I tried to be light on details in terms of what the person looked like for that specific reason. And this actually brings us right into something you mentioned to me, which is you'd like to see much more gender neutral focused videos. Can you explain more about that?
Yes. I don't know how they would go about it, except maybe do like how you did it, like a POV style. I guess I would say, instead of saying, I don't know, like, "Oh, my best friend of so many years has this fetish. Oh, let me just tease her and stuff like that." Or, "Oh, I'm gonna fart on my stepsister," because that seems to be the genre, stepbrother and stepsister. Or just say that, "Hey, you're a girl and I'm gonna do this," just stuff like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it definitely understand it could be difficult to, like, it feels more appropriate that a video be more catered towards a female, whatever, the not victim, as it were, but the submissive, the bottom. And there are a few, but definitely, especially in terms of like a variety of content, you're not getting a lot of variety, which is unfortunate, because there should very well be people catering to your side of the fetish as well. And I'm hoping with more awareness that will come about, is my hope. I feel like people didn't acknowledge or even realize like there were females that did want to receive farts as well. And I think that's coming to a lot of people's awareness. And I think you coming on the show today is a great help in that as well. So once again, thank you for kind of representing a side that people haven't seen so much.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy to be here, just to give my womanly perspective.
I'm glad. I'm very glad you're here. For you personally, do you have a creator that you'd in particular that you'd like to see do a gender neutral video? Like, would you request one from someone?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, maybe Natasha F on PH. Christy, if she's still doing the genre. There was someone else, I forgot her name. Oh, I think she goes by Jade Lee. I would love to have a video catered to me from Jade Lee.
I don't know if I know Jay Lee. I assume Christy, you mean Christy, I think Fart Princess?
Yeah.
Her work is good, and the first one now I forgot, but the first one you mentioned was also very good.
Oh yeah, she's new. Yeah, I think they're on mini vids, I think, or I want clips. But yeah, they're rarely new in this days, in this day and age of OnlyFans and stuff like that.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, I was just curious. I haven't, we don't talk too much about pornography, but I was interested in who one of your favorites was. So that was nice to hear. Do you? We kind of touched on this, but I'll ask you more like directly. Do you think any of the female fart creators that are on these sites actually have this fetish? I mean, would you wager to guess if any of them did?
I would actually just say no. I don't think they do.
Okay. Do you think the content in general would be different if these creators did have the fetish?
Honestly, no. I think it'll still be the same, but I think the fans, the content buyers would be like, "Hey, she likes the same thing that we do," and they might grow like a much deeper bond or a connection with it because, yeah, they both like the same exact thing that gets them off. So
yeah, that's a very good point. I think it's not maybe so much that the creator has a fetish, but that they're empathetic to the way people come to say custom videos, for instance. Like, I think it's one thing to just read it and be like, okay, yeah, I'll do that, slap it down, blah blah blah, and just kind of do it. I think it's another thing to like read it like, oh yeah, I kind of get what this person is going for. They kind of want these vibes, and then to go in that direction. And I think that's a matter of being a good creator, not necessarily having the fetish.
Yeah, because you can do as much research on something. Like if I'm going to do something on like the foot fetish stuff, I can like ask around and try to see what they like. But I guess you can tell the quality would be different and better because I would actually be into the foot play or foot fetish stuff.
Yeah, very true. We've definitely talked about community on this show in past episodes, and my goal of trying to bring fetishists together. Do you personally think you would be comfortable in a mixed gender community? I know you said you were bisexual, but I was just curious about what you think about like that type of mixed gender community.
Oh yeah, something I forgot to say. I kind of coined the term like bisexual fetishist. Because, I do like guys and girls, but most of my stuff is geared toward women. And I think I'm probably somewhere on like the asexual spectrum somewhere, or my libido is probably not as loud and proud as my friends are. But honestly, yeah, here's my questions being like yes and no. As a woman, yes, I would love something to be only female because I would feel more safer with women that have the same likes and dislikes and stuff. But I think even the person you had on last time, I think his name was Jules. I think he said it'll be better to have it mixed because we can all like bond and share over the same likes and dislikes. Like, oh, you like this model? Yeah, let's go talk about them and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, just keep it mixed, have like all walks of life, and we can like share and bond over this whole thing.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think I agree with that completely. What are your thoughts on the future of this fetish, either for yourself or on the grander scale?
Hmm, good question. I guess for me, probably do a meetup one day or get a play partner that we can do stuff together. Cause yeah, just do all types of stuff. I guess it's already diverse. You already see all walks of life doing this type of thing. Have it more catered to women or even people that identify as non-binary, just stuff like that. And as a whole, let me see, I hate to see it like becomes more mainstream and kind of like made fun of, like, be the butt of jokes, like how, foot fetish is. But yeah, just let it be a little bit more out there, but kind of more hidden because yeah, well, I can't speak for everyone, but we're still kind of shy in this realm.
For sure. For sure. And I think you make a very good point about it just in general, that I think this fetish needs to be more aware of females in on this side, as you, for example, the people that are not just like there to deliver or whatever. They're not there to provide farts for you. They're actually fans of farting as well. And I think that has been overlooked. And my hope is that's going to change. That's my hope, is that will be the future, is more care and consideration will be given to your experience, your pleasure.
Yes, thank you. I don't know. I might have to throw my hat into the ring and become a fart model because I already meet the criteria. I like it. I personally know what the person would like. So who knows?
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds like an awesome possibility for the future. Definitely keep us informed on that.
I will.
This has actually been, I've actually enjoyed talking with you quite a bit because,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, well, as I said, it's not every day or even common that we hear from your perspective. So I think this is a really important thing to bring to the people, and I'm happy that we got to do it on the show. I have just one last question for you, and feel free to add anything additional at the end if you'd want. But what would you like to say to other fetishists like you right now that might be listening? What would you want them to know?
Oh, I wrote this down. I would say you are not strange, gross, or weird for liking this. You might feel that way a couple times, but that feeling will go away fast. What you're doing is safe. You're not hurting yourself. You're not hurting anyone. It's safe, sane, and consensual. Oh yeah, it's something about a rant I did on Twitter a while back. It makes you come and makes you happy. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I can't think of a better
Oh,
note to end on. Victoria, I really appreciate your willingness to come on the show. I appreciate you reaching out to me. And I think this episode especially is going to be well appreciated, and I hope it's going to do good for the entire fetish. So thank you very much.
I hope so. Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, and one more thing I want to add. Listen to this podcast. If you're a listener, a female like me, because even though it's generated toward males, you will feel seen, heard, and understood.
Thank you so much, Victoria. I'm so glad to hear that.
You're welcome.
We'll catch everybody next time. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.